Hi guys, I'm bringing you to Ratesi in Slovenia. I hope I pronounced that right. And I've got it set on 1 week. It's T gamma up to the 11th of the 4th, and just bringing you down to the data. It's not very high. I mean, it's popping up to 0.16 there. It was kind of similar before, but I just thought I'd show you that, which is a week view. And as you can see, coming up to date, switch off. And on the 6th, I might point out, slightly on the 6th in the evening, there was a spike in Austria, but the Austrian monitors have stayed on, and obviously the spike hasn't hit Austria. The cloud hasn't hit Austria as bad as Slovenia, but there is a switch off there, and it does correlate with an April the 6th lunchtime date in Slovenia. And we've got lots of switch offs all over Slovenia. I was just going to show you that it's a week. You can sort of kind of see where it is. And it's T gamma, Vilenia, and it started off at 0.8 microsieverts, and it's kind of crept up to 14 in kind of little staggered bits, and as you can see, switch off, and I would say that's probably about lunchtime as well. Obviously in Valenja it was more noticeable. That's sort of kind of in the middle, I think. But we'll see what else. Just bringing you quickly to Drobna, Slovenia. We come to this one quite a bit, and for the last month, this too has no data found for this locality, filter in current time frame. And just to let you know that I'm going to just pick one off at random here, Doblish in Slovenia, see if it's got some data and a graph or not. Okay, let's go into the south, and we've actually got a bit of a peak there. Right, okay, I've got into Hungary now, and it would certainly appear that Hungary and Croatia are turning off at the same time, later on in the evening, confusingly enough. I've got some of the Budapest monitors all switched off, but this one, HMI Hungary, just had an odd little switch off before the 6th in the evening, so that's interesting. Croatia was in the evening, Budapest did one in the morning of the 5th, all the way through to not far off from me, probably about 8 o'clock or something in the morning, and then it switched on for a little while, and then it switched off just before all the other reactors switched off in the evening. So it may tie up a little bit, but basically this one seems to be the centre of some action. And I was confused that the other ones, like Hungary, was being switched off at the 9th, but this one it shows actually got switched off on the 5th, which kind of makes sense why Slovenia got hit a bit later. Okay, so I'm just taking you to Budapest H-Tech Hungary. We've got it on a month setting going back, so as we come down, I think we spotted that 0.42 spike, or 0.45 spike, an earlier point on one of my videos. So obviously we get to the latter part where we've got 1, 2, 3, and then the final 4th switch off. So it seems like they don't want it to go over 0.8 microsieverts, and if it does, then they just turn it off. So we could have thought there's 1, 2, 3 spikes, and each time the break-off's getting longer. So the first 2 are kind of short, and then the 3rd one's longer, and then the 4th one, well, they haven't switched it back on after days and days, as I thought. So, come on IAEA, what about Hungary, eh? Lovely. Just coming to Zakopane in Poland to show you the switch off there, and the switch off is on the 5th in the evening. Just bringing to Palik in Serbia, and it's just to confirm switch off on the 7th, so they're all doing. And coming to Rosita in Romania, once again we have a switch off. Just taking you to Vidin Peak, Bulgaria. Reason for that is, as I look at the month view, I can see a lot of switch offs occurring, and it would be worth bearing that in mind. And now I did pick up some really high readings in Greece, up to about 0.56 microsievert for quite some hours, and I'm just taking you to this one just to show you that it's got a lovely 0.8 straight line, got a bit burbly there towards the end, and on the 6th switch off. And I just want to make sure with this Greek one date on that, so I'll come to 1 week, and if we give it a second, we go to the week, we get some detail. Okay, on the end of the 6th, and exactly the same place as everyone else. So this is a coordinated switch off in the south eastern part of Europe, with at least 2 reactors of Budapest, we know, and also Turkey, which even yesterday had had more than a 0.4 microsievert, 0.4 microsievert peak. So that could be anything, we don't know, because they're not really telling us what the measurements are. They're switching off and hiding the data. In Greece, coming to Ionia, Greece here, and we got up to well, over 0.5 microsievert on the peak. We had a period of time where that was so it would have been sometime in the 1st to the 3rd, so a good 24 hours off that, and and then from the 3rd we've just got this erratic pattern. Don't quite know what to make of that, but that's possibly local to Ionia in Greece, but we shall see. Right, I was just bringing you to Kirklarli. I'm not going to pronounce it, or I am, yeah. Lüleburgaz, Turkey. That was a good attempt. It's T gamma. It's quite low, but April 1st, and I made a comment that April 1st at this end of Turkey, April 2nd in the eastern part of Turkey, and we obviously have later switch offs heading north as well. So but then we have the Hungarian reactor, but anyway, there's a switch off there, and you can see it's to date. So from the 1st to date there is a switch off in Turkey as we start to head east. Now just going north of the unpronounceable place in Turkey, where we had the switch off at 1 o'clock, you can see here that there wasn't a switch off, and this is getting further up towards the border, but there is the switch off on the 6th, which we're not sure what that is, and then there was the switch off just before, you can see there, which we presume may well be a Turkish reactor. But then this 6th switch off, it's looking like it could be Turkey, mainly because of that last one. But okay, we've got Istanbul, Turkey, and it's T gamma. It's quite low. On the 1st, just after the 1st, we get a slight kick up. There's a break sometime around about the 5th. And I think there's another break on the 6th, so the break on the 4th, a break on the 6th, sort of thing, and it's obviously nothing up to date, so whatever's going on around there is still on. Alright guys, I think I finally found getting somewhere with this. Anyway, so we're in Sanliurfa, Turkey, It's on T gamma. And what we have for March the 18th, when we had that 25th, there was a big drop here. And then on the 25th, when everybody else switched off, this one was getting 120 to 160. But interestingly enough, just before the big switch off that everybody did, it started registering peaks of up to 0.29, 0.30. So, and we are 38.8 degrees east, so we're starting to head across there, further towards this this other reactor, and that all this started happening on the 4th, and of course that's the date we're sort of kind of looking at. That was the day of the earthquake. Okay, so at the moment we're looking at Van Modiay, Turkey, where we got the big purple spot, which was more than 0.4 microsievert. And as we go along, we can quite easily see that on the 2nd, 3rd, might be our 3rd or 4th, when that earthquake occurred, there was a large increase and decrease. So basically we got to a staggering nearly 1.3 microsieverts. That's 1.3 microsieverts. And according to this, if it went on from the 3rd to the 5th, it went on for about 2 or 3 days. So I just come into Slovenia. There was a blue marked up there, and it looks like it got to 0.21, but interestingly enough, if we look to the 2nd, to the 3rd, there was a switch off. Don't know what that was about, but just thought I'd note it. And this is Penhastor das, Portugal. We can see that it's burbling along at about 0.18, but I'll just scroll that down a bit. But you can see that on the 4th, just towards the end of the 4th, there's a peak of up to 0.33 microsieverts. And we do have a kind of a pattern there. So just wondering where this hit all over Europe is coming from with on the 5th of April. But certainly whether they've coordinated a release all over Europe at the same day, I don't know. But it's very high in Portugal. This. Right, I've got this sent over a month now. I might point out that when you come into this, the actual date that stops out there is the 6th. Okay, so that's when you come in on the 12th. I come in just now on the 12th. And anyway, I'll set it on maximum and I'll put it a month back, just so you get an idea of what's been happening. We have a purple spot here, actually a blue spot here. We have purple, 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 purple. Loads of purple around there, around the Hungary area. We have purple here, purple there, and purple over here. So bottom line is with that, 2, 3, I think that's all the same one. We'll call that a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that will be the last 30 days, basically. And we're not talking about Hinkley, which we knew popped. We know Oldbury's popped. We know Sizewell popped because of the wind direction and the Geiger measurements in London. And if you look at the UK, it's kind of nice and green. But we can't access the data, even though I'm just going to show you this. It's all up and running. This is the country data. When we come to the country information, we have the latest data here.